quicker throughout the game.
Do we like the Leshrac pickup? Comes a little bit as a surprise, potentially. For me, anyway.
Now what I think is they kind of lack a very stable or guaranteed stun to set up for their disruptor, because Leshrac stun is like delayed, so you can't really rely on that, and Leshrac against Rubik is actually
Against
very
Rubik Clockwork though, like Clockwork and Rubik are both very good against Lash.
Yeah,
They
just
can
imagine him trying to get his stun out and the battery cells constantly interrupting him, then Rubik comes along, steals it, and gets it instantly without any cast point time.
And you're not even that good against Brute Mother. Like, sure, you have a lot of AoE damage spells, but like, why the Brute Mother would just send the spiders to you, right? She can just move them away and still hit you, and she is not universal, so she doesn't really lack the damage to actually force you back. As a Lash, you have two major problems. You don't have health points and you don't have armor. And Brute Mother is really, really good against heroes like that, so I'm not very sure about this Leshrac pick. Oh.
Aurora, you didn't want to Snapfire.
For the benefit of doubt, I believe in Abed. A player of his caliber should be able to figure out what he did wrong previously, and like, it's been quite a few days.
His game plan is very simple. This game, like he just needs to play around with the Clockwork hookshot. Like whenever the Lash and the Mars they're coming to threaten the towers, they're gonna take a fight. Your damage is just basically waiting for the Clockwork to hook in, and you're just gonna kill the hero immediately that doesn't have 4 stuff. I think that's his first job in the game. After that, he has to just scale. You know, like depending on how the game goes, he has to scale. It's pretty hard to mess that up, this game, I would say.
Yeah, in spite of what you guys said about the other Lash matchups, I think like this hero is bad against, doesn't like heroes that have this kind of like ranged burst, right?
Yeah.
Snapfire eventually scales into that, and before Snapfire has like the items or levels to make that happen, obviously, like you said, a couple of natural pairings where you provide a ton of range damage that can threaten anybody, like bring down a Lash 100 to 0 potentially with a good initiation. So I like that pick. I think it very likely would have been banned or even taken if... Actually, no, I don't know if they would take it, but it probably would have been banned.
10 seconds.
Yeah, and right now they have to find a gym park hero. You need a hero that can... I mean, yesterday we saw like one game, gaming they actually drafted Lifestealer with Lash. Okay, never mind, they're actually banning it themselves. Like, I feel like the carry has to play with the Lash, because whenever you have a Lash in the game kind of revolves around the Lash. So you don't want a carry that's way too greedy. You want a carry that can rotate and help and play with the Lash.
They're banning out the Phantom Lancer on the side of Shopify. Does that maybe
that hero
get a Terrorblade for themselves?
I mean, that hero is also good against the Clock and the Rubik. Those heroes, those supports can't really deal with the illusion carries, you know, like especially Clockwork.
Yeah, they're afraid of illusion options right now, especially because the Lash, which isn't quite as good against illusion heroes as it was before, is also like kind of like a natural counter. So if that's both on the side of Beastcoast, then illusion carry gets a little bit scarier.
Yeah, I feel like Beastcoast could. They need something like a slug that can fight, you know, and you can protect the Lash in the team fight. So they're gonna ban out the PA as well, which Beastcoast picked during the tiebreakers. I'm not really a very big fan of the hero. So I feel like the hero has a lot of weaknesses, especially carries that need to buy better for you now. You just feel really bad in the lane because you can't buy the ring. It affects your laning phase a lot.
And especially as PA, you're not even strong in lane, so there's no way you can guarantee that you can get to that first item fast enough.
Yeah, but it does look like a pretty good PA game, right? At least with like the 4 heroes that you see. I think no one really... Like, you can move around or you can kill anyone pretty fast, including like jump on the Snapfire before she has the items to be able to respond.
I think it's alright, but I wouldn't pick it here alongside the Leshrac, because like Winter mentioned, Leshrac is actually very, very heavy farmed, and like you need the team to play around you. So having Leshrac and PA is actually gonna be very bad for your team.
Okay, that's a very, very nice pick for the lane. For the game, sometimes I feel like Sven can be greedy, but he also can be very useful at helping the team. I think this game, the shard will be very useful for the Lash. Because like you mentioned that the Lash is very weak against the Brute because you don't have armor. So the Sven can actually deal with that and help the Lash actually in the team fights a lot.
I think it's a good hero in like mid game to late game, but in the lane not necessarily that good against Brute, because I have seen this matchup play out and you just need to take the polar on Brute Mother, and this Sven cannot really advance forward. So it's definitely alright because you can just farm, right? And as a +1 hero, most of the time, if you can just farm, it's already good enough. But now, seeing this Razor, I think this Razor just destroys a lot of heroes on Beastcoast side. And we have seen the Razor from Tundra 9s. Like, you kind of make this Lash feel difficult to advance, right? Because Lash is already afraid of physical damage, and you're just gonna lick over him. Sure, he doesn't need his physical damage to, as in like his right click to do damage, but still having a Razor, it's just really hard to land your stuns now. And ooh, I don't know how are they gonna kill this Razor actually.
You're gonna need the Ench to have a very good start, so that the Ench wins the lane, and you have to help the Lash control the rune. I think those are the two things that needs to happen for this Lash. The Lash has to snowball really hard. You get the runes, you get the towers early enough, and you can rotate and kick the Razor out of the lane.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, I think the game is really hard for Beastcoast to actually play, you know. And Shopify is gonna have a very easy mid game, and they're just gonna control the map.
That's 2 for Shopify, Jack.
I like Beastcoast's team fight this game. I think that difference is between the Mars and the Brood. I feel like if they can consistently get the engagements that they want by closing people into the arena, then they can do a pretty good job this game. Again, a lot of it's going to come down to lanes, as these matchups usually do. But
Hey, a split panel. I enjoy that. I enjoy that for sure. What I also enjoy is listening to the voices of Cap and SVG for the first game.
Hey, that's us. We're going to be taking you through Shopify
That's
versus Beastcoast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's me.
What?
Yeah. Yo.
Zip
So give him the intro.
bad.
Yeah.
We're going to see an
Give
RTZ.
him the intro.
You stop ruining the intro every time. RTZ is playing Razor.
Yay.
Is that good?
I don't know. Is it good?
I don't know. It
Somebody.
stands out. It's my memory. It is actually my favorite RTZ hero. Screw his Terrorblade, screw his Medusa, screw whatever the hell else. Razor. Active run around here. I remember a performance by RTZ where he was all over the map. He was controlling the entire tempo of the game. He was a wild man running around. None of this, oh, we're going to win lanes and then farm for 30 minutes and beat you late.
Sounds like a dream.
I want to see a Shopify that moves around, is aggressive, isn't reliant on just winning lanes, interacts with some other heroes.
We're talking about the right team, dude.
That's my
Sounds like
question.
East Coast.
Yeah, it does feel like I'm talking about Beastcoast.
I think you're talking about the wrong team, bro.
I don't know about you, but I favor Beastcoast coming into this, but I do like Shopify's draft more in this game one.
I mean, this Razor pick is pretty nasty.
It is a nasty Razor pick.
You counter the Sven pretty much the entire game. You have a good lane versus the Mars. I mean, okay, Mars can spear you out of the lane, but generally Razor's going to fruit from there. And you're even decent versus the Lesh because you're a double BKB with like BKB refresher rate. So, a pretty good Razor pick. And we've seen this hero come back in popularity. He still seems strong if you can get to the items. I don't know if he's like an early phase hero because you kind of want to see a lot, but when you see a lot, you can get him last here. Not plus you have that sick cosmetic going.
It is pretty nice. And they're going to use the Plasma Field to help secure First Blood, which is going to be going to Saberlight. So the Broodmother is already off to a great start, and they should be able to still filter out and get bounty runes, no problem.
You know, fast Beastcoast can up this game. Their three cores can, in theory, play pretty fast together in mid-game. Especially if they can go with the Lesh with the Sven armor, help them out, Enchantress can roam, Disruptor can help the Lesh run at heroes and guarantee the kills. Especially before BKB comes out on the Razor and maybe the Brood, depending on what Saberlane wants to go. He might just go like pipe into auras here. I can see a world where they rely on the Razor Snapfire for full scale. Oh,
The Turtle Courier.
it is adorable. What the hell even couriers?
I don't know.
Or just a turtle.
It's a turtle with the prettiest eyes I've ever seen a turtle have. Look at him go. Oh, he's such a good boy. All right, who else is a good boy is Mortimer, who Abed is going to be playing, the Granny and Mortimer here on Snapfire against Mago's Leshrak. This is a good matchup. I feel like Leshrac probably free farms, right?
Flesh can do here. I think the new lightning helps, but I do think Snapfire. I mean, Snapfire is just hard to beat on. I don't know. I always have faith Snapfire can win a lane, even if it's kind of not optimal. But Hero's just damn strong. Stats. Good trade with the Scatter Blast. You get some extra right clicks in with the slow. It should be pretty free farm for both.
Yeah. I mean, Leshrac's getting, Imago's getting in some good damage with the extra range that he has over the snap.
A little of a decent trade getting out denied, but so far so good. The real lane I'm curious in is this Sven Brood, because on paper Sven is good with Brood, but I think in actuality, kind of just get dunked on. I actually have no faith in Sven to stand versus Brood. Not even sure the early waves are.
Yeah, I feel like you actually lose pre-level 6 because Intoxicating Bite is a pretty powerful trade tool. And then you're not going to be strong enough to kill the spiders early. So he probably wins that part of the matchup. And yeah, late game, like, sure, okay, you're going to AoE stun and kill all the spiders in one swing. That sounds great. But I feel like you lose against the Broodmother until then.
Yeah, maybe in the 4 or 5 slotted Sven, you can just stun Brood and kill her. But otherwise, I feel like this lane is actually miserable. The Silken Bolo with Mischance is pretty rough for you. It lasts very long now. It's a 120 damage nuke for 70 mana, whereas your Stormhammer is a 80 damage nuke for 110 mana. That's just not.
No, that's not a fair trade-off. Mana to damage ratio is pretty whack there.
I am also still waiting for an explanation as to why Stormhammer deals 80 damage level 1. The mana cost.
Because it's an AoE stun.
Is it though? It's a 1 second stun duration. Is that a stun? That's like I hit a boulder and tripped for a second. Oh, let me go back to killing you. This spell is terrible. Okay, I'm just gonna. There's a reason Sven we don't see him a lot. This hero has a lot of problems. Well, one of them is his laning has just been nerfed to garbage for some unknown reason. Probably because there's like 2 ancients on the map now, so they were worried about this hero getting out of control with that. But
yeah, that makes.
I don't know. It feels a little overkill.
Well, I mean, if you're going to be taking advantage of the double ancients, then surely you don't really care that much about your Stormbolt, right? You're just going to go 1-4-1.
Yeah, for sure. But what about all these support Sven players?
Who?
Exactly. Me. I like playing supports, but now I can't.
Sounds like a you problem. I'm trying to get really aggressive here between Fly and Arteezy.
This wave is so big.
Yeah, I don't know how this wave like doubled up like this one, but really good read by Shopify to just dive the tower. Just make it so they can't get any of the CS.
Got nothing off that. You did get the XP. There's another wave coming. What the hell happened up here?
I'm not sure, but he's going to miss that full wave. At least the way it's looking.
Absolutely terrible. He's dead, I think.
Yeah, he's going to be battery assaulted. Is Arteezy going to brave this tier 2 tower damage? It's going to be a little bit.
Oh, he got
a double for it.
Why are you
my
still
God,
here?
he came back to glimpse him and he just fed him an extra kill.
This is an absolute train wreck of a lane.
This is probably one of the worst lanes we've seen this entire tournament.
I mean, it's not. The net worth does not reflect it, but this is just.
The experience is going to reflect it.
This is a massacre up here, and Artur is going to be able to drag this wave back and reset the equilibrium as well. That's just insult to injury. I don't know how they got like a quad wave on them. That should not happen. How does Schofield still have dire melee creeps on him that are stuck at the gate?
Yeah, what happened? Oh, they're trying to go through the gate. They can't go.
But how did these even end up? I don't know.
Because they chased the Mars for so long.
Whatever happened on his lane is unacceptable, and they should think about it.
They should think about it.
When they rewatch this replay. Study that for a couple hours.
Want to pause the game for them?
Maybe, yeah. They need to bring their coach in here like AUI was. Give them some pointers. Jim Park in trouble.
Got them both inside the cogs. Now, that probably means Saberlight might be in trouble or Fly. Somebody's going to die to this tower. Somebody has to take the damage, and they're trading it between the 2 supports. It's going to be Crit who ends up getting glimpsed back to his doom. But otherwise, they do manage to get that Sven kill. Pretty good trade-off.
Like some good old-fashioned Shopify strong early laning phase, right?
Yeah, kind of is, yeah.
The only thing that's missing is Abed maybe snowballing on a Spirit Hero. Stuck on the Snapfire, which has not done too well for Shopify this point. Maybe that's something Beastcoast can fall back on here, but not if these side lanes are going. Right now, it is all Shopify Rebellion here. As they take it to the Mars, they take it to the Sven, and the two melee laners for Beastcoast not finding much.
Oh, they're going to try and snowball the mid lane. Maybe it's not off of a spirit, but he's winning the CS war right now. And Crit,
Level 6. One creep.
Stinger's on the high ground. I'm not sure if they spotted Crit from that high ground position or not because it's nighttime. Tried to go for a surprise cookie. Failed. Now they're going to telekinesis him back into the kisses here. And there's just not enough of them landing.
Those were just bad, weren't they?
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
What was that?
I think all around by Shopify, but
No,
the worst was probably the kisses.
I think Crit's just dead. Dude, if I'm Crit, I'm so mad. What were those kisses?
I don't know.
Those are terrible. He
They
didn't
were
predict
not
any
good.
movement.
Oh, he missed the cookie too. Is he gonna die for that one?
Oh my god.
Oh god.
What is happening?
Both these teams are throwing.
This is just a good old fashioned shitfest.
Yeah. Good old North America, South
takes me
America.
back.
We're back home.
It
baby.
really does take me back. These are big spells to miss. Suddenly, Dark Mago just got gifted 400 or 500 gold off that and didn't die to the Snapfire 6 ahead of his.
Blip, blip.
I don't know. Was Abed thinking like he's just gonna try and juke me back or something? But hit the slow. I feel like those kisses were, I don't know, they felt lagged or something.
Yeah, he didn't lead it at all.
I mean, I know we've been having some lag at the Bali Major, but like, not that bad.
A little bit of brain lag.
That's a big kill to miss for Shopify, especially for Crit, who wanted a lot of that XP, right?
Yes.
Because now those Wisdom Runes are going to get split here, but now you're only level 4 on the Rubik after the Wisdom Rune. Could have been 5. Feels a little bad, especially with what was happening on the side lanes here. That evened the game out.
Oh, Arteezy sees an opportunity to turn on him. This is a great opportunity. In fact, he's going to kill Schofield, and Mago can't stand toe-to-toe against this Razor, not this early on. In fact, probably never. That's part of the matchup right there. Just
Got
better
Sacred
single
Seal, too.
target damage, Sacred Set as well. All right, we go back to action in the top laner, and
Yeah.
he's just getting fed again.
That was a optimistic gank that does not work at all. And they pay a heavy price, losing 2 cores into the Razor, who was chilling up here. 1,000 gold for Arteezy. Just like that. Why not? Is it time to go Midas? If I know my boy Arteezy. Thinking about it.
He does have 1,300 gold
He's
queued up.
discussing it right now. He's like, hey guys, what do you think about me? Midas with all that.
Abed said, I don't think that's a good idea. Artur said, shut up, feeder. Maybe land your kisses next time. And you can have the decision in my items. Sorry, it had a brain lag. Same thing as Abed had earlier.
Okay. Maybe if Abed was playing Storm. Consider it. But he will go treads here, so conservative. Actually, honestly, I went to Midas here. I think the levels on Razor are pretty high.
Go for the kill onto the Sven. Once again, the cookie is going to be a little bit too early, a little bit off the mark. The kisses are landing, though, and inside of the cogs, he's definitely dead.
You just can't stay down here with Sven this late. This hero does not do anything in these skirmishes. He doesn't provide you any damage. Just a body. He's
And
just
no
a
support
meat sack.
wants to be here because it's a brood mother, so you're going to be alone.
And some more Spiderlings for Saberlight as Abed puts that double damage to work. Nice rotation from him back on top here. In the early game, Snowball continues from Shopify. Honestly, I don't even understand how they're only up 1k.
It's because they fed Mago all those kills earlier.
Yeah, but he's not ahead of any of these Shopify.
Yeah, but I think it killed the momentum the supports had in the game.
I guess they're up 2k now. Well, nice moves nonetheless. This game just feels wide open for Shopify. I don't know where the pressure's coming from this Beastcoast lineup. Their heroes don't have that good of early game synergy. Like, you have a Mars who can throw out an arena, but the 2 supports don't have damage to put into it. You have a Lesh who can run around, but he doesn't really have the best follow-up. You have a Glimpse for setup, that's kind of it. And then you have a Sven. Sven, his synergy is with Ancient Camp. I don't know, these little combinations for Beastcoast, I feel like they're just lacking a lot of damage here. They probably need Static Storm, and that is so far away for Schofield here.
Another rotation from the Leshrac. Grid is going to be the one caught in this one, not Arteezy, so in that regard, Shopify's probably fine with it. Then again, Leshrac didn't have to commit too much for a pretty decent amount of golden experience.
He's going Yules too.
And he got a refill on the bottle, too.
Yeah, it's a haste.
And it's a haste.
That's probably the best rune you can hope for here, because that'll guarantee some sort of rundown. Potentially on the Brood, if they can get it, that would be huge. Parker has been relegated to pretty low-value jungle camps down here, and there are no stacks waiting for him.
Bye.
Bye.
Got his bottle back though on Abed, so
Nice little position for Fly.
yeah. Try and punish Schofield. The kinetic field well placed though, so as soon as he gets around the cogs,
Yeah, you gotta be careful of the Brood flank coming through.
yeah.
As a Saberlight move here, he's just gonna take the tower. There's nothing that stops this. Beastcoast still searching for some kills in this game. I mean, I guess it's just gonna be the less Yules. It's gonna give him the extra setup here.
Yeah, they do need like some sort of catch because it's going to be a bit until Sacred has a blink dagger.
This hurts your scale though. Not having this fast Bloodstone, you don't have heroes to enable it, but are you just gonna run around and Yules kill people until your Sven's ready to fight with no ancient stacks?
But are you going to out heal the damage, the single target damage of Broodmother and Razor anyway?
Maybe in the late game.
Yeah. There goes that haste rune, and there goes the hook shot. Bit off the mark, but his lands. Maybe the slow's
not
getting
off the
up.
mark.
Crit is going to try and get him with a Fade Bolt, but it's not up yet, so I'll have to forgive that one. Fly, glimpse back into Mago. Another little bit of slip up here from the North American squad.
Yeah, some sweat on the keyboard. Too humid here. Oh, I saw Fly in the pool earlier. Dry off, man. House is slippery.
We literally went straight from the pool to the computer.
I don't know, maybe. You never know.
Radavitos, but no kisses, so this is not the easiest kill,
nice.
but
Fun.
nice telekinesis into the cookie. That's much better synergy between the two of them. Crit actually stealing kinetic field, giving up the Leshrac ultimate there to try and get another kill, and he's probably going to die to Jim Park now. Shows up with a big boost to damage from God Strength.
And that's efficient for him, straight back into the Ancients with his God Strength going.
Yeah.
So nice little extra pickup of gold for him. Anytime you can get that on Sven, you're really happy. Shield Ruin Purge enables that kill. East Coast, I mean, they're staying in it. More than I think a lot of other scenarios could have happened for them.
Yeah.
It was just getting run over in this game. Of course, the big bad Arteezy has still been free farming during this whole period. And is closing in on that a very fast BKB here that there is no answer to. There's absolutely nothing that's going to touch BKB Razor in this game until ultra late game with like a 5 or 6 slotted Sven jumping him first. Then it gets weird. You can also Lotus Link return. Also gets fair. But right now, I don't know if these East Coast supports are going to get Lotuses, let alone much game, as they're getting continually picked off, and the Brood is occupying so much space down here.
It does feel like Shopify have like a much easier time of setting, like their two supports playing with Snapfire, it's really easy to find kills together. And I think it's harder for Beastcoast to do the same around the Leshrac. Ato's kisses. Every time, that's going to be a kill on somebody. As long as he land it, and he does.
Really nice pickup there. Taking away some of this ancient stacking time as well. They take the big golem. No, they're going to... Atos is definitely paid off for Abed. Helps the forts set up. Stolen Stormbolt for crit. That's this one in 14-minute wisdom.
Is really cool. He gets so much off of it. He gets the wisdom rune as well. The cogs, maybe hook shots for it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's worth it.
Won't be able to get out, but that is worth the second rune here. And you're getting such a big reaction out of East Coast to the corner of the map. There's a lot of space for your other cores. This is a game where I feel like East Coast need the support utility. You're playing versus Razor, who is going to have to carry the game for Shopify unless Snapfire hits the very later levels. You really want 4 staffs. You want the Lotus Orbs. That's an old school way to deal the Lightning God here. It's just so damn far away. If you can get there, I can see a world where Beast Coast kite out this Razor during BKB and like reset the link and then go back in, you know?
Sure.
You just need those support items. So that is what Beast Coast are racing towards here. They have the Yules on Dark Mago, and they have a blink on Sacred. So a lot more setup just came in for Beast Coast.
Yeah, we saw the heat map earlier between the two offlaners, and they pretty much haven't interacted, haven't been on the same side of the maps this entire time. Expected for a Brood Mother, but now with a Blink Dagger on this Mars, you would expect a little bit more interaction because, well, Sacred's going to be moving around the map, but also Blink Arena is a good way to catch the Brood Mother.
The Enchantress in the river. These knobs, another 3-man smoke for Shopify. They've really stuck to this 1-3-1 pattern that we've seen be very successful for a lot of teams. Snapfire is definitely one of the better mids to play around, period. Gives you basically infinite damage for these early game pickoffs. BKB done for RTZ.
Yeah, they're going for some very early BKB timings. What do you think about that over like the Gleipnir Snapfire? I think when you're ahead, feel like you get the damage first and the BKB later.
I just think the BKBs are just way too good. It's like impossible to turn down. They're good versus all 5 of Beastcoast. Outside of the Sven right-clicking you, which, whatever, right?
Sure.
The Mars and Lesh damage is just going to disappear. And Shopify, if they feel confident that they can latch the fight during those BKB durations, then I don't think there's anything.
Okay. Smoke up from Beastcoast right before these BKB timings start.
Not just that, you're really looking to start these fights on the left track, but he is squishy if he goes in. So you have to think about how deep do you go, who do you jump on, and what's the follow-up there? It's a static storm. It's okay. You really need the Sven to join these attempts because I think you need the extra damage to bring down.
Fighters all over the map. As soon as the smoke breaks, they're going to get vision. See what the reaction is. They blink in, go for the arena, but they don't get the fast kill. The Fear got, now he got clipped up. Oh, this is awkward. A self-Yules does a little bit more damage when he comes back down. Ortiz will easily kill him. The kisses come in. They get Schofield as well. Stinger's very likely to die. He gives up his life to kill an opposing support. A 2-for-3 exchange off of a failed initiation from Beastcoast.
Fear misses, and that is all she wrote. It just takes you way longer to bring these supports down, and Arteezy doesn't even have to pop BKB, and he is probably laughing because for once he gets to hit the enemy on the cliff.
Oh God!
Look who's the fool now? It's not me for once. And damn, does it feel good? He extracts another 1,000 gold out of this fight and continues his farming spree. 6-0 for this last pick Razor. No solution in sight for Beastcoast, and that's that aggressive Dark Mogul Leshrac build. Not getting the payoff he was looking for, as he just jumps into everybody. You find one hero, you're happy. You find 4 or 5, not happy.
Sacred, he's gonna find a whole lot more heroes again. Not happy at all. Instantly killed, but Mago actually went for it. Blinked onto this one, hit the split earth onto Abed. Yeah, he is insane. He's gonna die for it.
He's actually insane. Okay.
Insane in the membrane.
Truly, that was play. You really wanted that Rubik.
I mean, he almost landed a 2-man stun.
Yeah, but no one's even closer. Well, East Coast still searching for answers in Game 1. And the BKB is done for Saberlight. The BKB is done for Abed. That is 3 BKBs online for Shopify, and they haven't had to use one a single time. So 9 seconds for all those. This next fight is looking very difficult unless Parker can just clean up with the God strength damage.
Which again means you have to get the initiation. You have to pick somebody, one of these cores off before it gets off the BKB. That's reliant on Sacred to land a Blink Spear.
Yeah, but then we're back in the Mars area. This hero has not been able to find Spears this entire tournament. It has felt very difficult. But my faith is low.
Mine is too.
Glad we're on the same page. What's your backup plan? Ben?
Sven farm.
I'll be honest.
Farm hit Kripa.
If your backup plan is Sven, I don't think it's going to end well. I don't think Sven's a backup plan. I don't know if he's a plan. He's something, but he's surely not a backup plan. This hero does not tend to function well from behind. If he had like Lotuses and
wild
Stabs and
card.
stuff, I could maybe believe it.
Yeah.
Because Lotus Link is pretty bad if it happens. All of a sudden, the Razor starts getting hit. Is that God Strength? Link done for Parker. This is about as good as it's going to get. 5-man smoke down mid lane. They're looking for a core, and they'll get him with the stun. Can they chain it? They can.
Oh, easily. Easily. Snapfire's dead. Now, Shopify, they know about the Blink Dagger. They shouldn't get caught like that again, but some of the damage is already done. Beastcoast off of that kill, take the mid tower. They find a double damage rune too.
A huge gold. That was an 8K streak. That's a 1500 gold kill.
What?
8x streak.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was a monster kill?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now it was 8-0, so all those kills that have been snowballing for Shopify get turned around into gold for Beastcoast here. The downside of not having any of your cores die in this game. That's about as good as a Blink reveal you're going to get on this Sven. Picks up a DD and gets bottled as well as Dark Mago passes that over to his friend. You're going to have that for the next fight too. Good deal here.
You get another one like that, you might be able to, like if it's near the Roshan pit, you could take Roche for
Yeah,
yourself.
that's probably what Beastcoast are looking for here. I've been just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not respecting 5 heroes off the map. Shopify, they're going to try and do Roche before that God Strength comes back up. This is probably the right idea here. No way Beastcoast can test this, and then you're not risking anything going forward on it.
Who's going to hit the high ground for Shopify?
Razor.
But my problem with that is that I actually feel like Beastcoast in some ways want to go on the Razor first. Right, if you're actually able to like chain stun down the Razor, that's gonna feel really good in the fight. You don't let him get that buildup of damage and minus armor that he does to you.
I mean, it has to be the Razor though, there's nobody else. There's another smoke by Beastcoast. They might still take this even into the Aegis because they have that DD Sven.
If you're in the vicinity of Dire's top tower, I'd put on a hard hat.
Better make use of it now. While Shopify are unaware of what your intentions are.
Don't think you can go on Razor. If you kill him once, the BKB respawn. Too much to fight through here. You're looking for the back line, you're looking for Rubik. Ideally the Snapfire, if you can find him here.
They hit a courier.
Out. There's the golden Roshan of Artor drop.
Gonna try and get back up to the high ground here before Shopify gets there. Shopify. They're gonna chase after Beastcoast, and Beastcoast will give away this ground.
Really wanted to use that double damage. Just nothing to hit it with. Positioning from Shopify. Get a tier 2 out of that, and outpost open for the taking.
It's gonna be tier 2 after tier 2, I feel.
The one thing that's interesting about this game is the net worth lead has not grown.
No, it hasn't.
Means Beastcoast are doing a decent job still finding items in this game. Particularly, they got a full halberd done on Sacred, a lot more than I thought he might have gotten in this game. That's a decent item in this game as well. There's disarming the Razor for the extra duration, the Snapfire, evasion chance versus 3 cores that all want to deal physical here for Shopify. Any sort of physical mitigation is going to go a long way for Beastcoast. In that Sven shard, if you eventually get it off a Tormentor or Parker's willing to buy it first. Warcry is a good spell in this game. Not be underestimated. It's going to keep people alive for a long time, especially if you can get the 4 stabs out on these supports.
Yeah, that's true.
Glimmer for Stinger done and 4 stab for Schofield. This Razor connection is not guaranteed anymore. It can be split up in the fight. You can stall it out.
And it's harder and harder to do that when you get closer to Beastcoast high ground.
They will find Dark Mago.
Jim Park's going to turn this around, starts going for Abed. Abed hops inside the cogs trying to get away, but Jim Park will chase him down. Both mid laners dying here. Jim Park, TP will complete his BKB last long enough.
Shopify all going up there. Honestly, I think you'll take that if you're beat. It costs you a Sven BKB, which kind of sucks here, but I mean, what else are you getting in this game? And you brought all Shopify top. This is wasting their Aegis period. Only 2.5 minutes left. They did not go high ground with it.
Schofield's been quite the nuisance to RTZ.
You know, some of the consideration here is Saberlight, he went the right-click items on.
Yeah.
It's going to help them feel more confident scaling. It does hurt that early high ground with the Roshans when they were in such a... I think the auras would have been pretty useful here if you wanted to poke the high ground. At the same time, they might feel that the Razor doesn't actually want to go high ground.
Yeah, and the Nullifier is going to feel really good when it's put into use here, but RTZ got sent away with a glimpse. Saberlight's forced to use his BKB. Again, approaching that high ground is dangerous. Dark Mago jumping down into the low ground here. They're going to chase after him, hit the ult shot. RTZ now inside the arena with Saberlight, trying to protect his spider. Stinger, he's going to go for this kill underneath the Static Storm. Oh, that impetus isn't quite enough damage.
Mago's back.
Mago's back into it. It's a two-man stun with the spear off the latch. Well, but it didn't latch into the cliff. RTC now trying to break for it. They have lost this fight now off of the buybacks, and RTC knows it too, and he's going to lose both of his lives. He's going to come back into an instant spear, split earth, chain stun, Beastcoast. What a turnaround.
That's about as good as it's going to get here. You have to use 2 buybacks, but it's only 1 core buyback on Dark Mago. And honestly, Dark Mago, he went this aggressive fight-starting build anyway. So it's not like he's hard scaling in this game. It's all about the Sven, and the Sven gets to reap the reward. And overcommittal by Shopify on this Glimmer Enchantress is what starts it all. They used a Link, they used a BKB on Razor. That just gives way too large an opening for Beastcoast to come in and leverage that window and get a lot out of it here. You have to be thinking about these links if you're Arteezy. You cannot just throw them out on random supports. I think it opens up too much for the Sven to come in and have a free fight.
Yeah, shout out to Dark Mago for that play. I mean, we called him crazy earlier for his outrageously aggressive plays, but that was just a perfect kind of aggression.
Yes, that's where this build shines. It's more sacrificial. He's going to use a buyback. He's going to throw some lives away. It pays off for his Sven, however, and that's pretty nice. If you're just gonna have faith in the Sven to carry this game, Silver Edge Online, he has accumulated a lot of gold in the last 6 or 7 minutes here, and he's in a decent position to contest this next Roshan and maybe win the game off that if you keep snowballing. And honestly, Dark Mago's net worth is not even too bad considering he had to buy.
Yeah, he's not that far behind. Oh, look at this pick off on RTZ on the spear! Sacred! Oh, that was a crucial miss, and RTZ is now going to kite backwards. Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter with the TPs. Yeah, they're still going to be able to glimpse back, and he will die. Beastcoast stick around a little bit longer, but Shopify do not actually have a response for that.
Parker is feeling himself right now. I thought that was a gem, but it was just protection. Still, they'll find the clockwork. +1 for the Sven to cleave down.
Now it's their turn to take objectives. They can take the tier 2 at top.
That is a rough place to die. Because now you're giving up objectives, you're giving up lane pressure, and Dark Mago gets to finish his BKB. Artur in the wrong place at the wrong time. 2 deaths now that have killed a lot of his momentum and thrown it directly into the Sven. That's the bad part here for Shopify. Maybe you're okay losing the Razor if the Sven goes down with him, but not in this type of scenario.
Yeah.
You're powering up one and draining the other. The drain's supposed to be the other way, not on his net worth.
Saberlight is now trying to pick up some of that slack. Building into the Nullifier, he's trying to become a second carry. This is awkward. I mean, Shopify will all 3 of them scale pretty decently. We've seen the craziness that is Snapfire late game. But it's just, it feels like Shopify in a cleaner game could have basically already won it.
I agree. They had a chance to close this map out and just completely snowball it, and it faltered here. And now you're down. You are the ones down 5K.
Yeah, it feels like Beastcoast can get this next Roshan, and they might be able to like put some serious. I mean, they might be able to just kind of like casually win the game on that second run.
They get 1 or 2 good jumps. Yeah, that's their window because the utility is out on the supports now. You have 4-staff Glimmer on Stinger, and you have a 4-staff Drum on Schofield. These are all items designed to just kite out the fight against these 3 physical cores for Shopify that need to get in close. They need to maintain that structure where they're on top of heroes. That's becoming harder to do. And you're getting to the point where if you reset the Link, if you reset the Brood during the BKB, that fight, it does not look bad for Beastcoast at all. And I'm wondering where is Sablite's impact in these exchanges too. I don't know about you, but I have not felt this Brood just killing people while the Razor's getting focused down.
No,
It feels like he's just a non-factor. Some of that I feel like has to be the Warcry armor.
And I think some of it is, yeah, that. I think it's also positioning, right? I mean, if we're diving in so deep for some of these kills, Broodmother isn't going to be able to get behind and catch the support like you want him to.
Also true. I just wonder if this itemization is too overlapping with what the other two cores want to do as well. It's just 3 BKB cores that want to get in there and all right-click people. Every item that Beastcoast is buying right now is amazing to counteract that.
Radiant's middle tower is hanging on by a brick.
You know, you're not going to have this Greaves or Pipe to bail out the Razor when his BKB is gone.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a Hex to go in and disable heroes for your Razor to hit if he's getting kited around. This is my concern right now for Shopify lineup. Have they itemized too single target focused and not spread some of the wealth around and just have faith that the Snapfire and the Razor can carry the game with some Brood support? They need that. Do they need the extra Brood right clicks here? I feel like the answer is no, and I think it's hurting them in these fights as they get
maybe
kited around.
amp up RTZ as much as possible.
Yes, I think this is a game where you should play for the Razor to carry the game. That means helping him.
We'll see whether or not Shopify. I know they have got to feel like something has gone wrong in this game.
Yes,
And I think that is like a good mental test. Like, let's see how much they crumble, you know, as we reach deep into this mid game, or if they're able to bounce back from it.
And Parker is getting big. He has a Swift Blink. Oh my god. Swift Blink plus Quiver. He's going to be hitting fast, and those first 2 hits off the Echo are going to chunk you. It's just a matter of who takes it for the team. If they find Arteezy first, the fight's over.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's a shard lift save on crit, but it might not be fast enough. They found it.
Go for it. The lift.
Got the lift.
Gets him way out with the cookie as well. Now he's going to turn. Now he's going to start draining damage with really good cogs. Fly gives up his life to be able to isolate the Sven and let RTZ go to work. Now he's going to start pumping the damage into Sacred. They're all hitting onto RTZ right now. See if they can kill the opposing carry in exchange for Jim Park, and they will be able to do it with the impetus. And Mago actually cleaned up some of the backline too, so Shopify cleanly lose this fight. They are going to lose all 5 of their heroes, and it just cost them 2.
And that went amazing for Shopify off the counter initiation.
Yeah.
That was them saving the Razor from the chain stun with the lift, and then resetting it with an absolutely sick cog by Fly. Traps the Sven, he gets nothing out of that, and just keeps the link going. And still, 6,400 damage done by Dark Mago here. The Leshrac goes untouched, and he went straight for the backline. I like this move by Dark Mago. He hit zoned by the cogs. He's like, all right, whatever. I'm going to run up the hill, start putting in this damage into Abed. Looking at crit Rubik for the second round. Just chases Abed down. There's no help.
Yep.
And again, I go to the itemization for Shopify. They're all on a different target, right?
Right, yeah.
All 3 of their cores are focusing different targets in this fight with the single target itemization. Generally, you do not win those types of exchanges because utility comes into play, you get stalled out, and then damage gets too spread.
That last fight does make me wonder, like, what a pipe would look like on that team, right? If Mago is not able to snowball so many kills.
This Lesh has a free fight once the BKBs are out.
Yeah.
And these BKBs are getting lower. Every one of these fights you do not win. You're going to have to just ramp that damage up even more considerably to overcome it or find solutions here.
Yeah, to be clear, like the build that we're talking about is a go back in time sort of. You can't just go back now and go for the pipe, right? You just have to keep going for the damage.
Man, these 5v5s are becoming difficult. Very difficult for Shopify. That was not even a fight where Parker got to do much.
Yeah, exactly. 2 different paths, and Shopify might mourn the path that could have been, but Beastcoast now set up for a Roshan. Shopify, they really need a clean engagement this time.
It did finish some big items here. Fatalist for Abed. That Butterfly for Arteezy.
Is he level 20 yet?
He is.
Okay, so he's actually a damage threat now.
Yes. A lot of damage just came out for Shopify, and maybe that can turn the tide. Now you can start throwing a lot more of that into the Leshrac. And if the Sven dies, that Warcry disappears. That helps you a lot as well.
They can, with the harpoon, maybe isolate a target if Abed and Saberlight go for the same hero.
Time. Bloodstone for Leshrac now. He's the scaling monster. It's like that early game didn't exist.
Yeah. Second on the network chart.
And a Hex for Sacred. These initiations.
Hook shot
gonna start.
on the disruptor. That's what they wanted to
They got a Hex on our board.
Yes, he did. Hex. No, he got off the BKB before the spear. Now it's going to start leading into the Leshrac. The Leshrac is in good fighting shape, though. He's not taking any damage. Now he's pushed up against the cliff with Jim Park closing in like a shark, able to bring him down. Abed TP's out.
None of that.
The kill, but he's not going to get it. A self-used blink away by Mago. What a turnaround from Beastcoast this game has been.
I thought they were going to snowball out here, but they have just showed up and turned this into what is looking like a convincing victory at this point, as the 5v5 just seems impossible. I mean, what are you doing in these engagements? That's quite a camera shot. Perhaps look, Shopify's coach right now wonders how it went so wrong.
I mean, like two of the panel members
did it go so wrong?
thought that Shopify had the better draft. You kind of agree that it looked like a great racer game with the start they had. It felt like Shopify should at least still be in control of the game, but no. Beastcoast, I think, proving, at least in this game one, to be the better team. And looking like there's no stopping them now. 17,000 net worth with a Sven about to hit level 25.
And that's the terrifying part in this game. The Sven is not even the biggest issue for Shopify.
Yeah.
That was what I thought was going to be necessary to carry the game. Parker did his job. He brought his team back. It's the Leshrac and the Mars who are becoming issues. They're too tanky for Arteezy to bring down. And
that's with Sacred missing half his spears.
yes, none of these stuns are even landing for Beastcoast. It's a failed initiation that they get a team wipe out of. Lineup has looked terrifying in the late game, especially with this Warcry just going on everybody. It is one of the greatest Warcry games I've seen in a long time. Parker, he's just gonna hold for some buildings here.
Telekinesis with the kisses. Force Apple get him down, though. Mago jumps for it. Lightning, Scythe, trying to get a glitter back. Wasn't actually good. Really good cogs, yeah. The damage by Abed trying to be pumped in.
Martin work, man.
Not sure where he's going to go. Oh, man, he gets in close range. Jim Park, and half of his health is gone in an instant. Meanwhile, they've lost Saberlight, and Abed, he's out of gas. Arteezy, he's going to die. Jim Park leans onto him, and he cleaves through the Rubik next. GG is called an instant disconnect from Arteezy.
A true classic indeed, as they just get routed completely in that game out of nowhere. Like a couple, one or two Sven blinks on big core targets, and then that game was just out of reach. The buyback from Dark Mago on that hill during that Aegis fight was a huge turning point in this game. His aggressive build pays off. The supports finally get the utility, and at that point, the team fight just seems impossible. I don't know.